Hi, I'm Carolina.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're here in my garden, and we've got a really special guest for you guys today. Her name is Angela Shin, and she's sort of become this gardening expert, like all on her own. And we're so excited to pick her brain because I love gardening.
And it's time to plant your winter garden. So we're going to ask her all the things.
All right, let's welcome her on. Okay, we want to welcome Angela. She's here with us. I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, gardening. So we're going to start off just by having you introduce yourself and just kind of give us a little bit of a background before your gardening days.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here, and I could talk for hours about gardening. Before I started gardening maybe 6 years ago, so it hasn't been that long. When I was a child, I never learned how to garden. None of my parents ever taught me how to garden. I was entirely self-taught 6 years ago. I was just working full time, just stressed out all the time, and I didn't really have a creative outlet. I've always had a deep love of nature, so once I started discovering gardening, I was hooked. I became obsessed, and it just grew into my life's passion.
So awesome.
Love that.
So you, like you said, you're completely self-taught. How did you know where to start? Like, what kind of kicked this whole thing off, and what were your first resources?
And why gardening?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, the way I started gardening was sort of by accident. So for most of my adult life, I never had a backyard. So I just, never thought about growing plants or growing fruits and vegetables. But when Kevin and I moved in together, we had a balcony that had good sunlight. So it was my first little outdoor space. And so one day I was in the kitchen cutting open an apple, and some of the seeds were already sprouting. So I just plucked them out, and I thought, you know what? We have a little balcony. I'm just going to plant it and see what happens. So I planted it in a pot, and every day it grew beautifully. It's just like growing so fast every day, and I was just so amazed. And then I thought, okay, I have to learn how to make compost because I need to feed these apple trees. So I just watched YouTube videos, and so I set up a little compost bin right on my balcony, and we do a lot of cooking, so we get a lot of kitchen scraps. So I would just throw those kitchen scraps into my compost bin, and then right out of my compost bin, I was getting volunteer plants coming up on their own. So tomatoes were popping up, peppers were popping up, potatoes, garlic. All these plants were just popping up from my compost. So I would scoop them out and plant them separately. And before you know it, I was growing tomatoes, peppers, and had my apple tree. I had compost, I had food for my plants. I had free food from my kitchen waste. It was just so magical. It was
I'm so shocked. I didn't know that could happen.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. And so before you know it, my entire tiny balcony, which is only 6 feet by 3 feet, so really tiny, was filled. Every square inch was filled with vegetable plants. And then I started just buying seeds. I would just watch on YouTube. I actually learned, there's so many videos out there on YouTube where you can learn how to do anything. So I just learned, okay, how do I grow this? How do I grow that? And one thing that really just caught my attention was the fact that strawberry plants propagate themselves. And so you get one strawberry plant, they produce these runners, and you get more clones of the plant. And so you buy one strawberry plant, and you have strawberries the rest of your life. And I thought, oh my God, that's so cool. And so I just started trying to grow everything I could in my tiny little balcony.
And what was your compost? Was it like the spinning thing? Or
No, the cheapest plastic bin you could think of. Poke some drainage holes in the corner, and then I would capture the liquid that comes out because that's liquid fertilizer. Also very good for your plants when you dilute it.
How do you capture the liquid?
Oh, you set your compost bin on a stool, poke holes in the corner, and put a little collection bucket, and then you have to dilute that because it's too strong if you use it straight up. But dilute it, and then that's great liquid fertilizer for your plants. Nothing goes to waste.
Because it's like plant juice.
It is.
Does it have nitrogen in it?
Oh yeah.
That what it is? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it has tons of nutrients. All of the nutrients are dissolved in the water, and then you use that to feed your plants. I use the cheapest, most basic setups, and nothing fancy. I've never used any fancy equipment. Even I'm like almost. I wouldn't call myself a professional gardener, but I'm almost there.
You really are. It's as professional as it gets. If you saw this garden, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but
I can't wait to see it.
That's
oh my
a
gosh,
good
you need to
way.
come see it.
Yeah, you do.
I think all self-taught people say that about themselves. They're like, well, I'm not professional just because you're self-taught. You know what I mean? Like, it's like an imposter syndrome thing. I think you're a professional also.
So tell us kind of like, how did you, or when did you realize that you had outgrown your little garden space? And obviously that was a huge problem for you because you're getting so excited and growing a bunch of stuff and now you have no more space. So what even prompted the idea to like post an ad to find space?
Well, so Kevin and I were renting. We're renting in a condo, and we were trying to buy a house. Now, this was 2019. Okay, that would have been a great time to buy a house, but we just struggled to find the right spot, and then you know what happened with the housing market after that for the next 5 years. It just got worse and worse. The prices kept skyrocketing, but that was ultimately our goal, is to buy a house with a yard so I can grow, food in my own backyard. But we kept getting impossible. And so ultimately, okay, we still don't have a house right now. But I thought, you know what, there's got to be community gardens out there. So I researched it. I applied to different places, never heard back, except one church, nearby in Pacific Beach, had a community garden. So I got on the wait list. 9 months later, yes, it took that long, I got my own little plot. And it was just one single raised bed, but it was my first time ever growing outdoors, like in the ground. I was so excited. So I actually have a YouTube channel about gardening, and I show that, my plot at the community garden, how I built it up from scratch, because it was neglected, totally neglected. Poor soil, is dry bones, there's weeds, really nothing there. So I showed how I transformed that garden bed into a beautiful, productive vegetable garden, and flowers too. And I just loved meeting all of the gardeners at the community garden. I just had a great time. I loved it, absolutely loved it. But I outgrew it very quickly.
Well, I mean, one box is not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was about 8 feet by 4 feet. So I needed more space.
Yeah, that's actually not that small.
It's not. You can grow a lot. You can grow a lot in that one raised bed, but I needed more. So my next step, what I did was I posted an ad on the Nextdoor app. Okay, the Nextdoor, it's like a little neighborhood, app. And I said, I'm interested in renting somebody's unused yard space, either front yard, backyard. If you're not using it, I'm interested in sort of like, I'll pay like a monthly fee for the water that I use, but I want to build a garden. I want to rent somebody's unused space. And there's got to be, I go for walks and jogs around our neighborhood. There's so many lawns that are just not used at all. Yeah. And so I know someone out there has got to have some space that I can use. So I did hear back from about 5 different people. So I went to go tour their spaces, and some of it just didn't work out. And then I found my current spot, and it was perfect, absolutely perfect. It was a mile away from where I live. It was flat, full sun, in a very safe, quiet, friendly neighborhood, and it was just so easy to work with. It was nothing there. And I'll send you some photos of how it looked before.
Right? Kind of like
it was dead grass. Yeah. It was like mostly dead grass. It was brown, dry grass, full of weeds, and in one section it was just all dirt. There was literally nothing there. And I thought, this is perfect. So the family living there, they were just very chill about it. They're like, yeah, do what you want. And, they didn't really care. Like, I could use that space how I wanted. The family there, they were very friendly. And so that's how I started. So what I did was, I went to Home Depot. So I got wooden planks to build the frame of the garden beds, and I just saved up all the cardboard from all of our Amazon delivery boxes. So I saved up as much cardboard as I could. So I laid down cardboard over the dead grass, built in the wood frames, and then every day on my way home from work, I would stop by Home Depot, fill my back seat full of bags of organic soil, and then every day I would just stop by the garden and just fill all my raised beds, and then I would drive to, there's this organic mushroom farm in Escondido where you get free organic compost. So I'll drive there and shovel buckets and buckets of organic compost. And then I went to the Miramar Greenery where they have wood chips and mulch. So For free. Yeah. If you go shovel yourself. But if you wanted to
shovel.
Yeah. So I would, I think it was like $20 or something really cheap.
Okay.
But I would go there shoveling bags and bags of wood chips, and I would lay it around my garden, and
Like
that's
around the raised beds.
around the raised beds in the pathways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty.
And I have a video of how I did this.
I saw it.
Yeah.
It's a good video.
Yeah.
I was like, the whole time my mouth was like wide open. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. So that was 4 years ago when I started my current garden. And
Why did you put the cardboard? So you put the cardboard at the bottom of the raised beds?
So the weeds don't come up.
yeah, it kills off all the grass.
Right?
Yeah.
It kills the grass. Yeah.
Okay, but then there's still drainage though.
Oh yeah, and then
It
over time,
decomposes.
all the cardboard breaks down, and then all the dead matter, the dead grass, that breaks down and feeds the soil.
Wow.
And I gotta tell you, it worked extremely well. I had hardly any weeds in my garden bed. It was so effective.
That is very
And the height isn't even that high.
No, 6 inches. 6
The
inches.
frame?
The height from the floor to
Yeah.
the top of the bed is only 6 inches.
Yeah.
And you should see the stuff she's growing there.
I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
On YouTube. So that is incredible. And how long did it take is it like, are they all the different beds, different vegetables, or is it like a mix of things?
It's a mix. I do mostly vegetables, but I do incorporate a lot of flowers. So I have pollinator flowers because you need those pollinator flowers because you need the bees and the insects and butterflies to pollinate your vegetable plants. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw a video on TikTok where like people are manually pollinating the squash
I'll
flowers.
have to do that. The bees do all the work for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What?
because I have another friend who puts poppies in her garden. Is that a good pollinating flower?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I do some poppies too. Yeah.
And it makes it prettier. Just
It
the
does.
flowers.
I love the flowers. I will send you a photo of my spring garden where it's all flowers. Like the whole thing is full of beautiful flowers. It looks incredible in the spring because spring is kind of the shoulder season, right? Like it's too cold for the summer crops, but it's the winter crops already done. So I had this like springtime where it's all flowers, and it's the jewel of the neighborhood. Everyone in the neighborhood always tells me how beautiful it looks.
So this is in the front of their house.
Front yard. Mm-hmm.
And is it still like you rent from them? Because it seems like to me people would pay you to come
Yeah.
do this to
That's
their
what I said. I'm like, do you
home.
do this for a living? Like, can I hire you?
Well, I don't pay anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, the original renters, so the people that I met initially, they were only renting the house. They didn't even own. So they were renting. They moved out. But the owner, the landlord, loves having me there.
I'm sure.
So when the original family moved out, he was like, I want you to stay. I want you to stay and garden here. So I don't pay him anything, but I give him a lot of veggies. He loves the veggies. So I pay, with my produce. Yeah.
And obviously you use his water.
Yeah.
And how much time do you spend there?
Oh, probably
A lot.
too much. Only because I
Because you
love
love
it. I love it. It's my hobby. It's my little sanctuary. So on my days off, if I'm doing a full garden, I can be there for 5 or 6 hours. But if it's during a work week, so I might just come for like half an hour every other day just to water.
Right on.
Yeah, I do spend a lot of time though. But again, it's my hobby. I love it.
And would you want something bigger, or like this is your kind of perfect size?
This is my perfect size.
Yeah.
I just realized that, as I get busy with work, I don't have as much time as I would like to maintain the garden, especially in the summer. The summer is very busy, just tons of harvesting, constant harvesting. Actually, I don't want anything bigger than what I have right now.
Right. So, and how do you decide, and how did you learn about like what to plant when?
That's
Like according to seasons and stuff like that.
that's the hardest thing for me. I'm like,
Now I just know everything by heart now, but when to plant
You do?
what? Yeah,
Okay.
There's summer veggies, there's winter veggies, and then warm weather flowers and cool weather flowers. So I know what should be planted
so
when.
how did you learn it? Just by researching?
Yeah, I would just Google, okay, when do I start these seeds? Or just as I watch a lot of YouTube videos about growing vegetables, like you just kind of pick it up. Some of it is by trial and error. Sometimes I might think, oh, this flower, I think I'll just start in the summertime in the warm weather. But actually, what a great way to learn when to plant what is to see what volunteer plants pop up on their own. So volunteer plants are, just plants that you don't you don't plant seeds. You don't plant the seed; they just come up. So, for example, if you plant tomatoes, sometimes tomatoes fall off the plant, and then they just rot, and then the seeds come up the next year. That's a volunteer plant. You didn't plant that; it just kind of came up, right? So I have tons of volunteer plants popping up in my garden, and so I just see when the tomatoes come up. Okay, that's when I need to start my seeds. Okay, when do these types of flowers naturally come up on their own? That's when I need to start them. So nature will tell you what to do.
If you're there and you're getting in sync with it like you are.
Yeah, like every day. Or at least multiple times a week, right?
Yeah.
And like, so summer veggies are planted in summer, or like
started in the spring. Started in the spring.
That's what I always wonder. Like,
because it'll take 4 to 6 weeks for them to usually, right?
Yeah. And I start almost everything from seed. I just love seed starting.
Cool.
I never buy plants from the nursery. The only plants I buy are stuff that's really difficult for me to start from seeds, like blueberries. Like I have blueberries that I bought from the nursery, but almost everything else I start from seeds.
And do you do any? I always feel like you read like, well, you put the seed on a paper towel and you. No, just in the starter. Stick them in there.
Yeah. Sometimes I do plant directly, but a lot of times I'll start in starter tray, seed trays.
You do?
Yeah, because it saves me space. Because then if
you know where they are.
Oh yeah. So then I might start seeds, and then but I don't have the space yet to plant them. So when the plants that are currently there die off, by that time the starter plants are ready to go in. So it's just an efficient way to kind of keep things going and always have something to transplant when I have space.
So they are supposed to die off. All the veggies, or like, so it's in constant flux. Like you're not trying to maintain plants for a year. You're maintaining them for a season. For the most part, there are some perennial vegetables, like eggplants are perennial. I've had mine for 3 years now.
So you just let them sit. And
they overwinter. They kind of are dormant in the winter. Peppers, I overwinter too, so that those can also be perennial. And like my berries, so strawberries, blueberries, raspberries are all perennial. But yeah, most other vegetables will be annuals. So they die off at the end of the season.
They die off and you rip the roots out?
No, I just chop them up. I leave the roots. I try not to disturb the soil too much.
Okay.
But I'll cut it right at the base, at the soil level, and I'll chop up the rest of the plant, and I'll just chop and drop. Because I'll just leave it on as a mulch, and it'll break down and feed the soil.
So you don't like stir it around?
No. The way I do it is very easy.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I think people think they don't do it because it's overwhelming and hard and expensive or whatever, and you just sort of
none of those things are true.
Yeah, totally.
It's very easy.
It is. And so, like, especially in those early days when you were first learning, like, what is like a learn the hard way type of thing that happened?
I've made lots of mistakes. But I mean, I don't ever think of it as, this is hard, or this is, it's just stuff that happens. Sometimes plants die, so the very first season that I ever had my current garden, the soil was terrible. It was very terrible. And I got to tell you, the soil health is the number one thing that will they'll make your gardening season easy. Your plants will be healthier. You don't have to fertilize as much. You don't have to water it, and you'll produce a lot of food.
So how did you fix it?
It takes time. And then, so at first the soil was very sandy because we're close to the ocean.
Yeah.
Very sandy, poor soil, no nutrients. The water would just drain right through. It wouldn't hold any nutrients or any water. So I just slowly layered compost over the time. I would chop and drop all my plants that are dying off, chop and drop, layer over time. And now my soil is so healthy. But it took time. That first year, I didn't have a great year. So my plants would kind of struggle. They were kind of stunted. They didn't produce a lot in that first year, but every year since then has gotten better and better. And this year is my best year yet. And I've used the least amount of store-bought fertilizer I've ever used, and I got so much production.
See, I think that's my problem is like...
The soil is the key.
Yeah, because I don't do the composting. I don't compost.
You can buy organic compost.
Yeah.
Why do you think you have a problem? Your garden looks so pretty to me.
But you should see her garden. The production of the plants is hardy. It's like a lot.
It's too much. It's too much. In fact, I
feel like too much.
Yes.
I have so much. I brought you some tomatoes that I just picked an hour ago.
Oh my God.
See, it's still warm from the sunlight.
Wow, look how pretty the box is.
And there are a few different varieties in there that over the years, I've hand selected.
So cute.
I've hand selected just only the best tasting tomatoes, and this is it. This is the culmination of my tomato collection.
That's amazing. And do some of these like self-propagate, like you said? Like some of them turn up year after year. Just the seeds
I have so many volunteers every single year. Tons of tomatoes popping up. I have sweet potatoes will pop up every year. You can't we plant sweet potatoes once, you will never get rid of it. It'll come up every single year. A lot of my flowers pop up on their own. I have pepper volunteers. I mean, I have so much food growing just on its own, even if I didn't do any work.
It's not just like, it's massive.
Right.
Massive produce.
Like bountiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you tend to just eat what you grow?
I do. Yeah. But it's too much. So I do. So the landlord gets a lot of the veggies. I also always give some to the neighbors around there so that they don't complain about my garden.
Why would they complain?
I mean, you never know.
You never know. What are they going to say?
There's monsters out there.
But I've gotten to know everyone who lives on that block, and a lot of people just come and talk to me because they're interested in the garden. But I always try to give veggies to the neighbors, and to my family and friends, of course. So
you're like an angel in that neighborhood. Seriously,
you're very
that
lucky.
Is amazing. Can you talk a little bit more about the strategy of where you put things like vegetables to flowers, and like, does it matter like where in the beds they go?
And what do you pick? Like, how do you know what to put in?
Okay. There's no scientific way to do it. It's just, whatever open space that I have, I'll put something there. And the important thing is to know the size, the final size of your vegetables, and which ones need a lot of space, okay? So for example, zucchinis will get huge, okay? So I put a wide, perimeter around the zucchini because I know it's gonna fill up that space and overcrowd anything else I put in there. So zucchini give a ton of space. Broccoli take up a ton of space, and they take up a lot of nutrients. So I'll just know which vegetables need a lot of space, and which ones need a lot of sunlight, which one needs a little bit more shade. So the ones in the shade I'll put kind of, towards I have a south-facing garden, so I'll know, towards the north, it's a little more shaded in certain areas, so I'll put plants that don't need quite as much sunlight towards the north.
Like what?
Greens, so lettuces, things like spinach, bok choy, all your leafy greens, Swiss chard, those can tolerate more shade.
And herbs.
Herbs do better with a little bit of part shade. But other than that, I always have flowers dotted here and there for the pollinators. But other than that, I just see, what space is open and what do I have ready to transplant? That's kind of it.
And do you pick the stuff that you just like to eat? Like, that's how you pick what's going in?
Pretty much. I always try new varieties every season. Some of them I'll like, some of them I won't, but the ones that I do like, I will grow. I'll save those seeds and I'll grow them, every year after that. So I always try something new. And even new flowers I've never heard of, I'll just kind of Google, what flowers are good for gardening, and there's tons of flowers I've never tried. So every year I try to pick a few just to see how they do. If they thrive, then I'll grow those again next year. So I just do a variety of stuff. Some stuff that I know will eat all the time. All your basic veggies, I'll grow those same ones every year.
So like your eggplant, what else?
I'll have so many. So in the summertime, I've got, it's such a long list. I have tomatoes, green beans, eggplant, zucchini, cucumbers. I have melons, like cantaloupes. And then
really?
All my berries are perennial, so they're always there. What else?
What about the winter? Squash.
So winter. Oh no! Winter is
that's the summer.
Yes, squash is summer.
You pick it, you eat it in the fall, right?
Yeah,
so it grew in the summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So winter is your broccoli, your leafy greens. So all your leafy greens. So lettuces, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and it's your broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and all your root vegetables. So carrots, potatoes, onions, radishes. Ginger needs warm weather. What else? And garlic goes through the winter in our climate. And then all your peas are in the winter. So sugar snap peas and snow peas. Yeah. It's in our winter because we live in a.
I tried to plant that like earlier and they've fried out.
Yeah. Because we have a warm winter.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, you're learning. Now you know that.
But that's okay. It's just trial and error. You just kind of figure
Yeah.
out, oh, it doesn't work. Okay, well, let's try it in the cool season. But our gardening is very different than those who live in the north or on the East Coast, because all of our climates are different, right? So what you plant when depends on your local, your local climate.
Do you think we have it pretty good here?
We have it amazing here.
So
Like-
we have no frost.
Right.
We can grow all year round. We have very long, warm weather growing season. So in other areas, like they have to start things like tomatoes and peppers indoors months in advance because they just have a short summer before they get a frost. But I can start my tomatoes and peppers, I can start them in June, July, even sometimes as late as August, and we can still get a harvest in our warm climate.
Right.
We have an amazing climate for growing all year round.
And it's so hot right now. Has that been hard? Like, do you have to go more? Do you have to water more? No.
This summer has actually been cool compared to,
I agree.
surprisingly
Just the
cool.
last 2 weeks
Yeah.
have been.
I don't go every single day. I water every other day for the most part. If it's a real dry heat wave, I'll go every day. But this summer has been relatively cool.
It's been mild and amazing.
And I use a thick layer of mulch to keep the moisture in and to keep the soil cooler in the summer.
The mulch on
On top of the soil, like wood
like
chips.
around all the plants.
Yeah.
I did that because you told me to, and it makes a huge difference.
You don't have to water nearly as much.
Huge.
It's good for us.
Because
when
otherwise
we-
the sun just fries the dirt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you save on water. We're always in a drought where we live, right? So water is so precious. You don't want to waste it, right? Yeah.
So cool.
And so what's the hardest part you think? Like the physical labor, like learning how to plant the seeds, how much to water, like what's the hardest thing about gardening, like figuring out?
The hardest thing, I think, is the time it takes to maintain the garden. Time is just something I wish I had more of. But in the summertime, you constantly have to pick produce. You have to before the fruits and vegetables get overgrown and it's not tasty anymore, right? So you're constantly having to harvest. So for example, green beans, you have to constantly pick them when the pods are just perfect.
How do you know?
Oh, you just know, you look at it, right? Oh, it looks so tender and delicious. Oh, you got to pick it right then. Because if you wait a day or two, it gets more fibrous, it gets thicker and tougher. And then if that happens, it's not a big deal. I just let it go to full maturity so I get the dried beans at the end of the season.
Oh.
And that gives for dried
seeds?
beans, but to eat
to
too.
eat 'em
So
dry.
all your dried beans you see at the grocery store, those are the same dried beans that the
do you
green
use
beans
them
turn
for?
into.
You boil them.
Yeah, I put them in my Instant Pot, my pressure cooker, and you just cook them like regular dried beans. And they're shelf stable, so I always have a ton of dried beans that I store through the winter. I eat it throughout the whole winter. So even
Do
if
you ever grow like chickpeas or anything like that?
I've never tried chickpeas.
So I'm like, what kind of beans are you talking about? Like
Green
a green
beans.
bean, like a long green bean.
Yeah.
Just a regular green bean like you get at a grocery store. If you let those pods grow to full maturity on the plant, they will turn into the dried beans, like pinto beans, black beans, navy beans. Those regular dried beans. Yeah. So even it's not a big deal if I don't have time to pick the green beans. I'll just let them go to full maturity, and I'll have dried beans at the end of the season.
I did not know that.
No.
I didn't
Yeah,
know dried
it's
beans,
cool,
like,
isn't it?
From those green beans.
It's very,
That's
very
amazing.
Yeah, but nothing's really difficult about gardening. I think it's all fun, even if it fails or doesn't work out. I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, I'll try
cares?
something else.
Yeah.
Nothing's really challenging. I would say for a lot of the biggest question people ask me is, okay, what's wrong with my soil? The soil, I think, is the trickiest part for new gardeners. And I mean, unless I went and looked at your soil, I couldn't really tell you, But a lot of soil, I mean, it's either going to be too sandy or too clay-like and compact, or there's no nutrients in it. I mean,
What about
the soil's
worms?
the
Do
key.
you ever use worms in your...
I do have worms
'Cause
naturally.
You can buy them.
I actually did try worm composting. I did try it, but I just didn't have a big enough space for them, and it was a lot more maintenance than I thought. And it's slow. It's surprisingly slow. It takes a while for the worms to break down all that food. So while that food is sitting there, the smell might attract mice or squirrels or whatever, or pests. So
What about birds? I feel like I'm constantly fighting with all sorts of animals in my canyon. So like birds, raccoons, bunch of like rodents that eat my stuff.
Something ate my entire tomato plant down to the branches, like the leaves.
It's so
And
annoying.
it took them like 2 days, and that plant was gone. I was like, oh, okay then. I mean, what would have done that?
do we have? I don't know if we have deer around here,
No,
but
no, dear.
But a coyote, I mean, tons of coyotes.
Coyotes are
maybe.
eating that?
I mean,
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I think it's raccoons.
It could be
Yeah.
raccoons. Yeah, we do have a lot of raccoons in our area. But I mean, you might have to just build a sturdy cage around there, or. But there are.
Ugly.
I know. But I know nothing's going to be 100% perfect.
know.
So you don't have like a pest problem.
Last year I did. Last year I had mice and rats eating a lot of my tomatoes. So here's what I did. So first of all, I don't use any poisons, no sprays,
Yeah, no,
nothing. Okay,
want to,
I don't even use traps because we have other cats in the neighborhood or kids might come into my
Right.
garden. I don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah.
So what I did was I saw a mouse climbing into our passion fruits. So we have a fence that goes around the perimeter of the garden, and it's full of passion fruits. We get hundreds of passion fruits every year, and it gets very thick.
That's where they hide.
That's where they hide. So when I saw a mouse go up in there, I thought, oh my gosh, they're nesting in there. So
Yeah.
what I did was I spent an entire 10 days, 8 hours a day, every day for 10 days, cutting back all the undergrowth. So I would lift the outer green healthy layer and all the dead brush underneath, I cut it all off. And I did find a couple of nests in there, mice nests.
What does a mouse nest look like?
And a nest, like
It's a bird's nest? No, just like a
yeah, I mean, you can tell. You look at it. Oh, it's a nest right there. It's this cozy little spot right in the perfect. It's like hidden and it's so cozy, and it's a mouse nest. But so I cleared up all that, and I looked at my whole garden. I thought, okay, I cleared up all the underbrush from my other plants. If it's getting too bushy and down below, I cut it all back. I cleared out all the underbrush, and this year I have no mice.
Wow.
Worth it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so maybe it's a good idea to like constantly clear underbrush.
if you have mice, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do hear from a lot of people they have raccoons that eat all their food. I personally don't have raccoons. I'm very lucky with that. I don't have squirrels either. But there are foods that some raccoons won't eat. I think they won't eat root vegetables. So things like carrots or beets, onions, potatoes. So you can still grow something that raccoons won't eat.
And we're starting to get into that season, right?
So carrots are winter.
Winter, yeah.
And so you plant in like September?
Yeah, right now, September, October.
So it's
you can
time to plant
Time to rip
winter
some shit out.
veggies
Yes.
for people who don't have snow.
For people who live in warm climates,
Yeah.
now's the time. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
It's time. And so I could just throw some seeds in.
You can? In fact, I will get you a starter seed
She
pack.
I would
has
love that.
every seed you
I
can
have so
possibly
many seeds.
think
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Didn't you say you put it in where did you put it on? Like big bins, like plastic bins?
I just take out, those plastic takeout
Yes.
food containers from restaurants. I'll wash it out and I'll label it so I have all my seeds in those takeout containers. But I have 2 big drawers full of seeds.
And do you get, this is maybe a dumb question, do you get the seeds from the plant?
Yeah.
Yes.
I save all my own seeds
So like carrots grow. Mm-hmm. Where's the seeds?
in the flower. You just never see it flower because obviously at the grocery store they harvest the carrots before it flowers. Okay.
Got it. So the carrots
At the end.
grow.
Yeah.
And then flowers grow, but carrots are under the dirt.
So the carrots that you see at the grocery store are harvested before it flowers. So if those same
the
carrots,
stalk from the top of the carrot.
okay, in about March, April, and May, you need to come see my garden to see how carrot flowers look. You would not believe it. They grow taller than me. The flowering stalks grow way taller than me. The flowers are like 1,000 little tiny white flowers in like a large collection of little flowers, like a little umbrella shaped. They smell like jasmine, and the bees love them. And then so once those seeds mature, it turns brown and dry, and I save those seeds.
In the flower.
In the flower.
And do you have, so you're allowed, because sometimes I have this impression that once something flowers, you can't eat it anymore?
That is a great question. So once certain vegetables start to form the flowering stalk,
Like parsley.
so all your leafy greens, so things like bok choy, parsley, cabbages, things like that. Once it flowers, the plant does become more bitter.
Right.
Because the plant is doing everything it can to survive to produce and fully mature those seeds, because that is their goal, is to produce the next generation. So they'll turn bitter. They won't taste good.
So you don't eat it? Because it wants to live.
It's doing everything it can to let those
create the
seeds
seed.
fully mature before it dies.
So once my parsley flowers, I can get the seeds from it.
You can, yeah, but you have to let it fully, you have to let all the seeds fully mature, which means it turns
dry.
brown and dry.
Dry out.
And then you can save those seeds for the next year.
I want to do
And then
that.
what about basil?
It's so much
'Cause
fun.
Basil flowers.
Oh, you
cannot
get
grow
so many.
basil.
You get so many seeds from basil.
From
Yes,
the flowers.
from the flowers, yeah.
But then do you chop them off once they grow if you want to keep the basil plant?
Right. Okay. So there's two different strategies. If you want to keep the plant producing food, so for example, basil, you want the leaves, then you do cut off the flowering stems because once it forms flowers and seeds, the plant's done. It's saying, okay, I've done what I need to do. I've produced the next generation. I'm done, and it'll die off. But if you keep cutting off the flowering heads, they'll
keeps
produce
producing.
because it's like trying to keep surviving until it produces seed. It won't last forever though. At some point, the plant will still die even if it doesn't produce seeds. But it's one of two strategies. So what you should do is the first, 3/4 of the season, just keep cutting off the flowering stems. You can still harvest more leaves. It'll produce more. But at the end of the season, when you're done with it, just let the last few flowering heads just
grab
let it
the
mature.
seeds. Fascinating, isn't it?
Why does my basil always die?
It's too hot.
That's what I thought.
Yes. So
Okay.
like almost everyone says that, because our climate's very hot, right? So you need partial shade or some filtered sunlight or planted next to or behind another
But
plant
should
that
you
is.
only grow it in winter?
No, basil's a warm weather plant.
warm.
Yeah.
It's so
So
confusing.
could it be pretty shady most of the time for basil?
I think in our climate, probably because our sunlight is so intense. So
I've got a good spot for
I
it.
think if it only gets a few hours, I think that's enough energy to sustain the plant.
Okay.
You can also use shade cloth. That's something that some people do in really
Shade
hot
cloth?
climates. Shade cloth. Just put a shade cloth over and to filter. It'll be like
Filter it a
40%, 20%. They'll have a percentage of like how much it shades.
And where do you get that, at the garden store?
Anywhere, yeah, online,
Amazon.
Amazon, yeah. I personally never use it, but I feel like I don't need it in my garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, saving seeds is the best thing you can ever do because I hand select the best plants that are the most productive, the hardiest plants that produces the best tasting food. And I specifically select those seeds and I grow them every year. So
Wow.
my plants, my vegetables get tastier and better and stronger every single year.
Little
'Cause you're
genetic
picking-
engineering.
Yeah.
And you get the best food when you save your own seeds. And those plants are plants that thrived in your own yard, right? So it's not someone way out in Ohio, grew. That's not going to really be adapted to your local climate. Those are your seeds that did well in your own space.
It's like so satisfying
Yes.
It is.
and free.
Yes. I'm telling you, seed saving is one of my favorite things about gardening.
I've never heard anyone really talk about it before.
I know. You get the best food when you save your own seeds. So when I give away my seeds to my family and friends, those are seeds that I personally grew. I know that those are the best vegetables.
Wow.
Angela's veggies.
Yes.
When you had your first successful harvest, like what do you consider to be your first successful harvest? Was it like in that little window of your apartment, or was it, this big garden, or you're saying this year is good? Like when do you think, like, what do you kind of consider like, okay, that was a successful harvest?
I would say, so my first harvest was from my tiny balcony.
Yeah.
As small as it was, I had tomatoes and those mini sweet peppers. I had herbs at the time, cilantro. I consider that a success.
Yeah,
I think if
no,
you're
totally.
gonna eat anything you grow and like it, that's a success, no
Yeah.
matter how big or small your harvest is.
And did you grow that? Oh, you grew that from your compost, right?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
from
Yeah,
seeds and So it feels different than just grabbing a plant and sticking it in the dirt.
Because that's what I usually
That's
do.
what I did. Yeah.
I'm like, let me go pick a little plant.
Right.
And then I gotta go again the next season and pick more, but
Yeah.
so much better from seed.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I have so many questions.
I'm very inspired.
I know you mentioned also with seeds that you have a lot of friends who bring you seeds from all over the world.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so you had some weird plant I had never seen before. Was it like a purple tomato or something?
Oh,
or-
the black beauty. The
Yes.
black beauty tomato.
Yes.
Oh, Yeah, well, that's a commercially available seed you can buy, at any seed company. But yeah, all my friends know that I love gardening, and so whenever it's like holidays or my birthday, they always get me seeds because they know I love seeds of any kind. So anytime my friends are traveling, they'll bring me seeds from whatever country they're in.
Wow.
So I have seeds from Italy, from the UK, seeds from Japan, and I just love it.
What's
I
the
love
most
it.
exotic thing you've grown that maybe you can't get here or you don't see here too much?
Oh, what do I have that's exotic? I don't think I have anything that's too exotic. I mean, I have dragon fruits, but that's pretty common because this climate's great.
Dragon fruit?
Oh yeah. And I have dragon fruits. I have Cape gooseberries, which you've tried. I actually gave me those
They're
plants.
So good. Those
Yeah.
little yellow ones.
Oh yeah.
The golden berries.
Yeah. What else? I mean, I don't think I have anything that's too exotic. So I don't know.
Just all the good olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to people with like a tiny space, like how you first started, what's like some basic advice you would want to give somebody just to like get started?
So I would start with plants that are suitable for small spaces. So I would definitely not do a zucchini plant that's going to get 5, 6, 7 feet long. So not that. But there's tons of stuff you can grow in a small space. Pepper plants tend to be pretty small, so you could do that in a pot very easily. Cherry tomatoes, small tomato varieties you can grow in a small space. Herbs are great. All your leafy greens, so spinach, lettuces, that's very easy to do in a small space. I mean, there's still a lot you could do in a small space.
You really can.
Yeah. Oh, a great tip is to grow vertically if you have a small space. So have a little trellis, and there's lots of plants you can grow upwards, so you don't use up a lot of horizontal space. So for example, pole beans, the green beans that grow on a vine that grow up. So you could get so much food, so many green beans, in like maybe 1 square foot. You just grow it upwards. So that's great.
So my friend just planted snap peas. Is that right to do it now?
Yes, you can start the seeds now.
And it's the most beautiful plant. I've never, the leaves are so pretty. And she has it like sort of like it's going to climb up a tomato, like one of those circular
the tomato cage.
Yeah, tomato cage.
Yeah.
But I was just surprised at how pretty it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have sugar snap peas that have beautiful purple and pink flowers.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. It's my favorite sugar snap pea. I'll get you some seeds so you can plant. Yeah. And they're delicious.
I love it.
Yeah.
So pretty.
What's one gardening myth that you've kind of like proved wrong or realized is totally wrong?
There's so many. There really is so much. So first of all, you don't need 90% of the products, the gardening products that are out there. You don't need any of that.
Like
hardly
what?
any. There's so many, all kinds of gadgets, right? I mean, I don't know, specialized compost bins. You don't need that. You just need a plastic tub. You don't need, you don't need special gloves. You don't need special tools. You really don't need most of the products that are out there. That's one myth. Second myth is, about all the pests and disease. You have to constantly battle all that. No, I do nothing. I do zero, nothing. What I do is I create good soil. If you have good soil, the plants will be healthy. They'll do their own thing, fighting off resisting disease. And the birds come in, they eat the aphids, they eat the caterpillars. I just let nature take care of itself. As long as you have good soil, your plants will be healthy. I do nothing for pests, things like aphids or I don't do anything at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
When it comes to composting, how much, like in this bin you have, do you put dry stuff in there too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
right?
Okay,
leaves,
this is a
dead
great
leaves.
question. I've tried literally every type of composting there is. And the best method I've found so far, and this is what I currently do. Okay, here's what I do. Ready? So first of all, I don't live where my garden is, right? So I can't just go out in the backyard and put my kitchen scraps in the compost. My garden's a mile away, okay? So as I'm cooking, I have a little bowl on the counter, so all my kitchen scraps go in there. And
does everything go in there or not? I've heard like you don't put citruses in there.
I do.
too much,
Oh,
I
I do.
think.
No, everything. All my
Okay.
citrus peels, everything goes in there. I just don't put meat products just because the
Right.
smell will attract more rats and mice and things like that. So after I'm done cooking, I dump those kitchen scraps into a big plastic bag in my freezer. Okay. So once that bag fills up, it only takes a couple of days because we do a lot of cooking.
Yeah.
Then I'll take it to the garden. And then I'll dump all that into those 5-gallon buckets that you get from like Home Depot or Lowe's
Yes.
that have lid, right? So I actually put it in there, dump it all in there with the lid, Okay, but that's not my composting system. It's just a holding, holding my kitchen scraps. Okay, then when I have time, I'll take just a regular pot, those like kind of 4-gallon pots with the holes on the bottom, just a regular pot, a plant pot. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll put 3 inches of soil on the bottom, just any old soil, like spent soil, dirt. They could, nothing, just your cheapest, low quality, whatever spent soil. 3 inches on the bottom. Then I put a thick layer of all my kitchen scraps from that bucket. Okay, and then the top, maybe 5 inches, will be soil on top. And then I kind of shake it around so that the soil on top makes its way through all the cracks, and I compact it down. I watered it in, and I put it right next to whatever plant needs nutrients, like my tomatoes, my zucchinis, my peppers. I put it right next to there.
What do you mean?
Then,
so you dump it out of the...
No, in the pot. Keep everything in the pot. So it's a compost pot. I call it a compost pot. And remember, it has drainage holes on the bottom, right?
And how big? Like
just you can use any size. You can use
This is now like a pot that you take a plant out of.
So you can use any size. You can use a small one like this. You can use a bigger one. So remember, it has 3 inches of soil, bunch of kitchen scraps, and then about 5 inches of soil. You pack it all in, and then I set it right on the soil, right next to whatever plant needs nutrients. So for example, it's my tomato plant, right there next to the base of my tomato plant. And then every time I water my plant, I just water a little bit into the compost pot, so it breaks down all the nutrients that leach out of the bottom of the holes. It goes right, the tomatoes will just use up all those nutrients. It is the easiest way to compost because it literally just dumping layers, 3 layers, and then boom, you set it next to your plants. And the soil on the bottom and the top hides the smell. So there's no smell whatsoever. And animals rarely ever dig in there. If they do, they might only dig in like a couple inches, but they won't make it to all the compost in the middle. And then all breaks down. But at the end of the season, let's say the tomato plant dies off, you don't need that compost pot in there anymore. Everything is broken down by then. So that's compost. It's compost. It's amazing compost.
And
it's
what
full
do
of
you do?
nutrients.
You put it on the top, or
you
do
just
you have to
just
mix it into the dirt?
No. I just sprinkle on top. Wherever I need compost, I put it. Or you can just reuse that same soil to make your next compost pot. Or what you can also do is put a small plant right in that compost pot, like small marigolds or small like lettuces or something small. You can grow right into that compost pot. So you're using every space that you have. I'm telling you, this has been the best.
Because there's dirt on top, so you can stick.
And on the bottom.
Yeah, so you can plant something right in there, something small, and then
you're
this.
a genius.
I've tried. Okay, have you ever heard of? There's also I used to make. I used to do bokashi composting, where you ferment anaerobically and you get this liquid concentrate that you use as liquid fertilizer. I've tried that. I've tried worm composting. I've tried literally just digging holes in the soil and dumping my compost in there, but I don't like that because it attracts a lot of roly-polies and the smell, and it attracts animals. So I don't do that. But I've tried every which way of composting. This is the easiest. It is so easy.
And I have so many scraps.
So you come by my garden, I'll show you exactly how I do it. It is so easy, and I barely have to use any store-bought fertilizer. So for my tomatoes, where I have my compost pot, I don't fertilize. I stop fertilizing them, and I just let the nutrients from the compost pot feed the plant. It is so easy, so easy.
Really cool.
That's amazing.
So for one bed, you could just have like 2 of those little pots.
Just put it right next to whatever plant that needs it.
Right.
And obviously everything that you're growing is organic.
I use no sprays, none whatsoever. There are organic sprays that you can use. Things like neem oil is considered organic, but I don't even use that. I believe it's not good for bees, so I don't use that. I don't use anything, no sprays, nothing.
That's great.
Okay, what are your go-to plants that are basically like super easy to grow? Any beginner can grow these type of plants.
Herbs are very easy. Herbs are small, compact, very easy. They don't require a lot of fertilizer, not a lot of space or sunlight. So that's very easy for most beginners.
Okay.
What else is, there are a lot of things that are easy. Again, I don't think anything is hard with gardening.
That's because you love it so much and you know so much about it now, I think.
Okay, in our warm climate, peppers are easy.
They need full sun all day. Every day.
Well, actually, you don't want too much sun because the peppers can get some sun scald.
Okay.
If the sun's too hot, but yeah, for the most part, they do need plenty of sunlight for the most part. Sweet potatoes are really easy because they're so easy because I planted sweet potatoes one time 4 years ago, and you think you've harvested all the sweet potatoes, but inevitably there'll be some still left in there that you don't realize that they're there, and they'll come up every year. So every year I get sweet potatoes, and I do no zero work on those sweet potatoes. I don't fertilize them. I don't plant them. They just come up every single year.
And how do you know when to pick them?
You can pick them at any time, but I usually wait till late fall.
Late fall.
Yeah. Okay. So sweet potatoes are very easy. What else? I mean, green beans. Green beans are so easy. They don't need fertilizer. It takes very little work. You just have to harvest them regularly, so the pods don't get overgrown. But I mean, it's very easy. Green beans are very easy. I'll say green beans. A lot of greens are very easy too. Lettuces are very easy in the winter. Okay.
Right.
And do them in the winter. Swiss chard, so easy.
Yeah.
Very easy, and they can produce a ton of food.
Right.
One single plant can get huge.
They get so big.
Yeah.
And they're pretty.
They are. Yeah, all the different colors.
Yeah.
And what's the hardest, you think?
Okay, for us, I think watermelons are really hard because they need so much space, so much sun, so much fertilizer. So even the small watermelons, I still struggle every year. I've never even attempted a large watermelon because I don't have enough space. I don't want to dedicate a whole raised bed for like one or two watermelon
Is it true
plants.
they have to be on a hill?
No. Mm-mm.
I don't know where I heard that they have to be like almost on a little like mound.
I mean, that's one way to do it, but that's not necessary.
They have them on Tecolote Canyon Trail. Like my kids like to bike there, so I walk. And there is this part of it where someone's gardening. They're like, and it's a vine that grows on the ground. I had never seen it. I mean, it's huge. It's all over. It's massive. And there's just like tons and tons of watermelon.
Wow.
But it does look like it takes up a lot of space.
It takes a huge amount of space.
Yeah.
Same thing with pumpkins?
Yeah, larger pumpkins take a lot of space. So watermelons I've struggled with every year just because I don't want to dedicate that much space to one plant.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's not like that.
And then as far as, do you have any like time saving hacks? Do you ever, because you have a job,
Full-time job.
a full-time job. Is there ever a time where you're like, wow, I'm really busy with work right now and life and I can't get there? Or is there anything you do when you have less time that is a good little hack for people?
I would say, if I lived where my garden is, if it was my own property, I would do drip irrigation.
Okay.
Yeah, because I will just do all the watering for you.
Right.
But since I don't live there, and I don't do that. But that's something that would save a ton of time is to do drip irrigation. Another thing is what else do I do to save time?
I think we need to get that owner to do some drip irrigation.
Oh, I know.
That would be nice.
No, I know. But you know what? There's renters there. I want them to be able to use the hose. So that's why I've never done drip irrigation. But someday, when we have our own house, have our own yard, yes, I'm going to do drip irrigation. But yeah, there are a lot of times, let's say, there might be weeks at a time when I'm just really busy at work and I have just minimal, time to spend at the garden. Sometimes it'll get overgrown. Sometimes I'll let things get too overripe and sometimes that just happens. And then when I have a good, whole day off, that's when I'll just kind of catch up.
Nice.
So I don't stress too much, if I'm busy at work, because I'll know, okay, when I do have a day off, I'll kind of clean everything up.
You can catch up. I like
You
it.
can, yeah.
Yeah.
We should be her
A
assistant.
gardening assistant. I should. I would learn so much.
Yeah.
How has this whole experience kind of changed your view of food and, growing it yourself? Like, how has it changed
Oh my gosh.
your life, really?
Oh, you cannot buy better food than what you grow.
Right.
It is the best, freshest, best tasty, most nutrient dense food you will ever eat. And so I've just every year I'm just trying to grow more and more of my own produce instead of going to the grocery store. It is the best food that you could ever eat is growing it yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. So I really
Such a
try,
good
like for
feeling.
example, in the summer, I never buy tomatoes or green beans or cucumbers or zucchinis. I don't buy any of that all summer long. I just eat my own. In fact, I can't eat grocery store tomatoes anymore. They just don't taste good at all.
It's true.
It is true.
The taste of a grown tomato is like candy. It's so good.
So yeah, I just realized, growing it myself is just the best food I could possibly eat.
And that's magical. The people in the neighborhood of your garden, do any of them like want to help and learn? Or are they just like, wow, you're amazing. We love what you're doing. Like, do they want to talk to you about what you're doing? Yeah.
All the time. So before I had the front yard garden, I've always envisioned, having a backyard because it's private. I'm kind of I'm a little more reserved, I'm kind of more private. So I've always thought a backyard garden would be great. But ever since I started this front yard garden, I've met so many people in the neighborhood, and I love talking to anyone who has any questions about the garden or wants to come and do a little tour of the garden. I mean, it really opened my eyes to like how much it can connect you to the neighborhood.
Yes.
So from now on, I think I'll always have a front yard garden because it's just so much fun. But yeah, all the neighbors, they all come talk to me, so I've got to know everybody there. I've gone to a lot of their backyards to kind of show, you know, they want to show me, oh, what could I plant here? What could I do here? So I've gone to a lot of their backyards. I've given them a lot of seeds. I've given them, you know, produce from my garden. The kids come into my garden. I'll show the kids, oh, this is how food grows. This is how a tomato grows. This is how a, you know, eggplant grows. And they'll pick produce and they'll just eat the tomatoes right off the plant.
So
I love
amazing.
having the kids come by my garden. It's just been amazing.
And has it helped you think with like, you know, you said you were very stressed with your job before you started gardening. Like, do you think it's almost like a way to meditate and like,
Totally.
you know, connect with nature and, you know, all those benefits, right?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, there's just the mental, emotional peace that I feel when I'm at my garden is just, I can't get that anywhere else. There's no medication that's gonna make me feel that way. There's really nothing else in the world that makes me feel as good as when I'm in the garden. I'll give you an example. I had COVID a couple years ago. I'm sure everyone's had COVID. So a couple years ago, I got COVID and I was coughing for 6 weeks after that. I just couldn't get rid of the cough. Every time I opened my mouth, every time I talked, I would cough. Except when I was at the garden. As soon as I stepped foot in my garden, I started doing my own gardening. I realized, oh my gosh, I'm not coughing at all. The whole time, I'd be there 5 hours, not coughing at all.
That's interesting.
And as soon as I left, I started coughing again.
So crazy. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
that
is,
just shows
yeah.
how powerful it is.
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And the calming effect on your nervous system, and
Yes.
and to like see the magic of something we take for granted, like food grows, you know, but to really connect with like sort of the magic of that, to like grow something from a seed.
and it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I did that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and just sitting there watching the birds. We have tons of birds. We have butterflies. Just watching them, you know, it's just so amazing.
It goes beyond your garden into like the world. You know, it affects every neighbor. It affects all the plants, the animals, everything.
Yeah,
So cool.
yeah. Oh, it's the best. Gardening is the best. You should all try it out.
Yes, I agree.
It's very inspiring. So if someone listening wants to do what you did, what would you say? Like, what's the first step?
Start small.
Yeah.
Start small so you don't get overwhelmed. You know, with one pot or one corner of your yard. You know, start small and just try it out. Build good soil. That's the number one thing. If you have good soil, your plants will do its own thing without any additional work. Good soil. Start small and build good soil.
And just a quick recap on how to build good soil. Like, right? I
We
feel
need to
like,
hammer it in.
like I'm just, because I feel like I really am, you're inspiring me big time right now, and we're just going to have to take a little walk into my backyard after this. But yeah, like, what's the first step in making good soil?
Organic compost.
Okay.
What I would do is take a look at your soil that you already have, okay? So you want to kind of dig a few inches deep and see, is it really dry all the way through? Okay, then if it is, then you need to add a lot more organic matter to hold on to that water and hold on to the nutrients.
Like the mulch.
Like compost, and then
and mulch.
and mulch on top to retain the moisture, And if it's dry all the way down, it takes actually a few times to water it repeatedly to then soak it all the way through. So a lot of times when the soil is really dry, the water will run off the surface but not actually penetrate through.
That makes sense.
So what you want to do is, if it's really dry, okay, water it, wait maybe an hour, water it again, wait an hour, and then do that for a few days until when you dig in and it's moist, you know, all the way through. So start with that if it's really dry.
How much to water. If it's you came and you were like, I think you're watering too much.
Yeah.
And
If it's
I
already
think that's a lot of people's mistake.
Yes. And the thing about overwatering is that you're going to leach a lot of nutrients out of your soil faster. So you're going to have to replenish that with more, you know, store-bought fertilizers, right? So if you overwater, you're going to leach those nutrients out. If your surface is if it's still damp on the surface, by the time you water again, don't water that day. You know, the top soil could be dry. And if you dig in, you know, then you can see how wet your soil is underneath if you know a few inches down. So it's okay for the top. In fact, it probably
But
should
if you
dry
dig in and it's dry, Then you got to take a couple of days of like fully watering.
Fully watering, yeah. Do it repeatedly a few times to really saturate the soil. And then, of course, having mulch on top to retain that moisture.
Okay, I love that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's about compost, the right amount of water and compost, I guess. Lots of organic matter from your kitchen scraps.
Yeah. I'm not going to be available for much work in the next few
Me too.
weeks. I'm going to be
think I'm going to be
gardening.
I can't meet right now. I'm gardening.
No, I mean, this is really inspiring.
Isn't
Just
it?
the simplicity, the low cost.
It's so, well, okay. Now everything's expensive now, okay? So if you asked me 5 years ago, is it expensive to garden? Not at all, not at all. Back then, compost was more affordable. Seeds were very cheap, and seeds are still pretty inexpensive, but compost and soil has gotten really expensive in the last 5 years. I'm shocked at how expensive it is now. So there is an initial upfront cost to set up your garden, but once you get established and then you start to make your own compost and you save your own seeds, then the cost is pretty minimal after that.
And the compost still isn't that expensive, right?
It's expensive now.
It is. Okay. Yeah.
For organic compost.
Organic compost.
Yeah. You can actually get free compost in a couple. Oh, yeah, you actually can get free compost at the organic mushroom farm.
I know you were saying that. That sounds like a cool...
I don't know where that is. Where is that?
I have to Google the name because I can't remember the name. But
You
it's
just do San Diego Organic Mushroom Garden.
Yeah, mushroom compost. I believe it's in Escondido.
Okay.
And so you go shovel it into a...
So I save my soil bags. The heavy duty thick bags that are big enough, because if you use trash bags, it's too thin. It'll rip on you.
What about like a big black thick trash bag?
I think it's
You could try. Okay. Now the key is if you have a pickup truck. If you have a pickup truck, I think you might be a very cheap fee they'll just put a load right into your pickup truck.
Don't have one, but
yeah.
Got friends with them.
Yeah.
Mind if I fill your truck with dirt?
But I didn't have a pickup truck, and I shoveled everything. But I filled up maybe 5, 6, 7 bags full of wood chips or compost, and I just did it all myself.
Yeah, it's a spiritual endeavor.
Yes,
it is.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been amazing. I learned so much.
Yeah.
And I mean, just listening to you talk gets me excited.
Oh, good.
I feel
I'm
really
happy.
excited right now. I do.
Well, wait till you taste those tomatoes. Those are going to be the tastiest tomatoes you ever eat.
Dive in. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what you do for a living. Like, anyone can be a gardener.
Anyone can.
And even if you just have a little bit of space, like you can grow.
If you have a sunny windowsill, you can grow herbs, right there.
Even inside, right? Yeah.
And what's your next gardening adventure?
Getting a house would be the goal.
And starting from scratch again.
Oh yeah, but
what would happen to that garden?
So I thought about this. So I would dig up the plants that I still want to save, my perennial plants that I still want to take with me. And I do have some of my plants that are in large pots, like my fig tree, all my berries, like my blueberries and raspberries, are all in large pots I can just take with me. Then I would convert that space to just a low drought-resistant, easy landscaping for the landlord. Oh. Yeah, so that no one has to maintain it afterward.
Yeah.
But I would take probably a lot of my good soil with me, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then I have got passion fruits all around the fence. I would take those cuttings and propagate those so I can grow those same passion fruits in my new garden.
That's my favorite.
Very cool.
Passion fruit.
I have hundreds at my garden.
Oh, it's my favorite food.
Yeah.
It's literally so easy to grow in our climate.
Yeah.
It's so easy to grow.
I'm just not sure where.
Oh,
Up against the fence somewhere.
We'll be going outside in a moment.
I'll tell you where.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Very amazing to talk to you.
Yay. Bye-bye.
Hasta luego.
Wow, we learned so much from Angela. My favorite thing I learned was that you don't have to know that much about gardening, and you don't need really any money.
You don't need a lot of money, which is the best part, I think. Especially if you learn how to harvest your seeds from the previous season and pick the best ones out of all your harvests. I think it's really cool that she does that.
Yeah, start small, and before you know it, you'll have a whole farm.
So thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next one. We're having another special guest. He's my massage therapist, bodywork guy. His name is Dave, so stay tuned.